When we talk about the male reproductive structures, that is everything that is needed to produce the sperm and then to ejaculate the sperm. So when we talk about the gonads, remember that that is the testes, and they are located in mammals outside of the body cavity. So they are located in the scrotum. The scrotum is not really protective. Its main function is to decrease the temperature. So we have a decreased temperature in the scrotum, and generally it's like a negative 3 degrees Celsius less than in the body cavity. So what that would be if your body temperature is mainly 37, then that would be like 34 degrees Celsius. So for some reason, in order to have sperm developing, it's got to be at this lower temperature. We do know that if males tend to wear tight underwear, that pulling the scrotum up to the body and not allowing the scrotum to move up and down as it is trying to regulate the temperature of sperm production actually decreases fertility. So they recommend if males are having trouble with producing viable sperm, that they wear boxer shorts that allow the testes to regulate the temperature better than tight underwear. Okay, so it would be better to have the testes up in the body cavity where they would be better protected. So really that scrotum is not all that protective. When we look at the testes, it produces the sperm. So this is where we have the production of sperm. And it also produces hormones. And so most notably, testosterone. So we'll put sperm and testosterone. So the testes is also part endocrine gland because it produces testosterone, which is the main male hormone. So let's look at the structures through which the sperm travel. So the sperm start off in the testes, and then they go to the epididymis. And this is where we have storage. So the sperm are stored in the epididymis, and this is actually where they become mobile. So where they actually become or have the ability to swim. From the epididymis, they go into the ductus deferens. And this ductus deferens carries the sperm into the deferens. I didn't spell that. Deferens. It carries the sperm up into the body cavity. And oftentimes in the diagram, it's shown alone, but there are other things that travel. So the ductus deferens actually travels inside what we call the spermatic cord. And we'll talk more about the spermatic cord, but this is actually a structure that contains blood vessels, it contains nerves. If you think about it, things have to come out from the body and into that scrotum and into the testes in order to nourish it, in order to move it, right? In order to stimulate it, in order to get hormones. So there's lots of things that travel through that spermatic cord, and the ductus deferens is one of those. Then it travels into what is called the ejaculatory duct. And it has actually also already picked up some other nutrients, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then it has to come out through the same structure that urine travels. So it travels out the urethra. So this is the passageway of the sperm, how the sperm travels. Now, we also have system, accessory glands. Oops, accessory. So these would include the seminal vesicles, these also include the prostate gland. There's only one of those, whereas there's two of these. And then the bulbal urethral glands. So there's two of these bulbal urethral glands. So let's look at what these structures look like in the male reproductive system. Let me get to the male. Here we go. Okay. Oops. Okay, so identifying, this would be the testes right here. It is actually covered by a tunic or a layer of connective tissue. This is the epididymis. It is surrounding the testes. That's where the sperm are stored. And then upon ejaculation, they travel via this ductus deferens, which is actually traveling with all these other vessels coming to and from the testes. Then it comes up and it actually kind of goes around the bladder here. And then it comes past the seminal vesicles. These are glands that are going to contribute fructose, among other things, to the ejaculate. And then after the seminal vesicles, we have the ejaculatory duct, which meets up with the urethra. So this duct here meets up and then it comes out, and then through the penis, this is the urethra. So when we look at the glands, we have the prostate glands. Notice where it's located. It is around these ducts, which is actually one of the reasons why males sometimes, when their prostate cancer develops or when the prostate enlarges, they have problems with their reproductive and urinary systems. And then this bulbal urethral gland is a gland that is responsible for the pre-seminal fluid. So the fluid that leaves the penis prior to ejaculation. So those are the main reproductive structures in the male.